Good evening and welcome back to Be Rich. In the middle of last week, I discussed something about Target. The Target is one of the world's largest retailers. They are stuck with inventory, which they don't want. People are not simply buying inventory and they need new inventory. Now, what they are doing is they are rushing to cancel orders with their suppliers and discounting the existing stuff out. But what I read in The Economist is that companies across spectrum are increasing their stock inventory levels. When I started about a decade back or 15 years back to really understand this, the whole world was in a rage about talking about Toyota's system of just-in-time technology, where there would be no warehouses, and as and when the conveyor belt needed a product, the supplier would bring the product. They had brought in lot of efficiencies into the system, and so this was a part of the great moderation.
But that only is possible if you can predict demand.
Right. So this has been going on for last 10 years. Suddenly we find that all companies have to carry a lot more inventory. I also saw a story of how an humble USB charger moved from Vietnam to US, and that is a few cents maybe or a few dollars. But the amount of time it takes and planning and logistics it takes to go from Vietnam through the sea, through the barrage, through the terminal into America, and finally to be distributed. It does a lot of things. A lot of things can go wrong on the way. All these redundancies were built into the system and it was going very smoothly. And Amazon and other people really exploited it. Now I am seeing that the reverse is true. Walmart has increased its stocks. We know why it has happened. At the end, I'll come. Tell me, on as an accountant, what happens when inventory goes up in a company?
So in case of your inventory goes up, you would have paid or going to pay at a future date. So to pay that or to buy inventory, you will obviously hold it, and there is some interest cost, storage cost of maintaining that inventory, and then you will have to sell it. So as you sell it only you will realize. So these are the things as an accountant or a financial position you will have to look at your inventory.
So basically, you would need more capital.
Yes, you will need more capital. Yes, capital is required, then you'll require more people, you'll require more space. All those things come
So
around.
there are a lot of costs going up. For somebody like Apple or Walmart who are cash rich, they can afford it. But the smaller ones who are already leveraged will have to borrow more, right? So they have to increase their
So
working
this
capital costs.
so this also adds to your inflation because
This is what I wanted to come.
once you are having higher inventory, you will add that will add to your cost of holding. Once cost of holding increases, your margins will have to give you the appropriate returns.
So if your costs go up, then the margin needed in retail has to go up.
Yes, and
If the margin goes up, the cost will go up. If cost goes up, inflation goes up. So we
right.
have changed nothing. Instead of storing 10 boxes, if I store 30 boxes, my cost of storage in terms of capital cost and labor cost and rental for warehouse cost is pushing up my cost so much that my cost of finished goods will go up. Even if I'm buying and selling, my margins need to go up to cover these costs. This will mean people can afford to buy less,
Yes.
right? This will also mean that in a place like the United States and in UK, where already labor is very tight, they don't have labor. So that means wage inflation will also go up. People will demand more salary. So you have a negative feedback loop in a sense. Higher wages leads to higher costs. So unless you dampen demand,
So one more thing is when you have higher inventory, even the rentals go up because you are storing it.
yeah, that's what I
So
meant.
even rents will go up, and people required to maintain the inventory also will go up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Labor cost goes up, interest cost goes up, storage cost goes up. These three costs will push the cost of inflation. And already you have limited labor. That is, unemployment is less than 4%. So you have to compete with this is a low skill job, especially in warehouses. So you'll have to compete with other low skilled
Jobs to get people.
get people. So the minimum wages will start going up, right? And now the right has now the far right in both America and in England England was pushed out of Brexit because of that. You won't find enough people to get jobs. Like you saw in London that there was a problem.
For
They were
truckers.
truckers, there was a problem. You remember special
Yes.
permits had to be given. So in America, nobody will want to do the job. To find a guy to do that job, you have to pay more. This in turn will push up costs. So finally, the cure is monetary. What this is indicating, this inventory buildup is indicating to me as an investor, as a speculator, is that you are building costs into the system. The demand has spiked beyond what you thought it would spike, and the demand is for the wrong products. So this is building a pressure in the entire system.
So another yeah, article I was reading is about retailers for clothes, merchandise, where they had ordered casual wear, and now since the people have opened, the world is open. People are no more buying the casual wear and looking at fancy dresses and suits and to party wear.
So unless you dampen demand, there is no other way you can get out of this.
Yes, even if you dampen the demand, now what will happen? Now these retailers will start to hurriedly buy things which are in demand, and at the same time, when demand collapses, they will be held holding both the stock which was required during pandemic as well as the stock which is required in the normal course of life. Even in case of, if you look at what you call the hygiene items, the mask, surgical stuff, that is also the demand has collapsed. Many people have set up investments thinking that this will become a trend of people wearing masks, but they didn't think about the human behavior which has been there for long, will not change over a 2 year horizon.
So this is really going to upset corporate America and
No,
corporates across the world.
not even America, it's going to hurt even China. China was the global supplier to America, and because of these problems and China having zero COVID policy and even China's declining population, whether China will be the future supplier or will we again see a fragmented industrial world, it all centralized to China in last 2 decades. Now in next 2 decades will we see a decentralized industrial
So is
revolution.
it fair enough to say still the headwinds are building up as each day keeps going? More headwinds are coming up than tailwinds for the economy.
Yes, there are lot of things which are changing will stick on to for the long to medium term. In the short term, maybe not much change will happen, but lot of undercurrent is going to be a medium
So
to a long term change.
it's better to stay in cash, sit tight, and wait for lower asset prices.
Yes, obviously, asset prices are further going to correct because if inflation remains very stubborn for a long period of time, Fed will have to hold its key rates, and when Fed holds, you will not find asset prices going up further.
Thank you for watching, Birich. If you like the content, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification. If you do not turn on the bell notification, you will not be notified every time we put out a video. Once again, I thank you for your support to Be Rich. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.